He has what I believe is the solar industry record, okay? 55 self-generated accounts in 1 month in one of the hardest markets in the United States. How do you create same days, and how do you create the deals that actually stick? It's just crazy to think about, because I know there's thousands of individuals in the solar industry, and a lot of people that get into solar say, hey, I want to earn $100,000 a year. I want to earn 6 figures in a year. But this individual is pacing almost $2 million in 1 year, his first full year of doing solar. And I think about it like this. What's up, YouTube? Do I have a gift for you guys today? I'm here with my top student, the top Knockstar, Mr. Benjamin Grossman. If you are not pacing, this kid is pacing $2 million in earned commissions this year. He has what I believe is the solar industry record, okay? 55 self-generated accounts in 1 month in one of the hardest markets in the United States, and pulled through 52 of those. When I say self-generated, I mean no leads, out there knocking, making the plays. Dude, I am so excited to have you on today to share with the industry on what you do, to really make this type of really unheard of, in your first year of doing solar.
Yeah, I started last August.
August.
Year and a little over a year.
Dude, super impressive. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been pretty entrepreneurial like my whole life. Back in like 7th grade, found out like how to sell shoes. Got like everything I do, I get super involved. I research everything there is to like know about it, and I want to absolutely engulf myself and try and do it on a massive scale. So
kid has what we call absolute certainty. He's just like a little bit different from the average door-to-door sales professional. And one of the things I love with sales is, if you sound like everybody else, people will tend not to listen to you. But when you're going to these families' homes, one, they've never talked to somebody talking to them about solar the way that you're talking to them, and you're really positioning the value. I got the opportunity to go up to his home market up in New Jersey and knock a day with Ben. I think we went out there for maybe 3-4 hours in the field.
Yeah, including sits that we were in for like.
And we locked down 3 transactions. It was pretty much like a perfect day.
Yeah, like 10 doors, 3.
10 doors, 3 self-gens, I wish every day in solar was like that. But yeah, one of the biggest things that I notice about you is you have an absolute conviction and a certainty, like that this is going to help their situation, and you're able to lead them to that.
Yeah.
How are you able to really maintain and have that certainty, like that you're really helping these people?
I would say I've seen when I'm competing in offers and stuff, I've seen quotes and positions people have been put in. And how I keep it is being extremely ethical in all my sales. I'm, not that's how I'm able to maintain that certainty, because when I'm, helping a family transition to solar, they're in a better position every single time. Seriously, every single time that I am selling a deal, they're once they're installed and PTO'd, they're in a better position than if they were staying with the utility. So it's just making sure I'm doing right by them, and if it's if it can absolutely not make sense for them, because a lot of the times I don't know until I'm like 5-10 minutes inside the house, because I love same days.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell them like straight up, I'm not just gonna slam it through just to make myself feel good. It's and have them be in a bad position in 2 years after they don't get that tax credit or whatever. It's being super ethical and making sure they're in a better position every single time.
So helping them, right?
Yeah.
Serving these families. You talk a lot about like tonality, and you talk about your body language. And like Ben likes to use a lot of things. Like if you were eligible for this program, utilize his voice almost like a master of tonality, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
You can notice he laughs a lot. I noticed that a lot too when I was shadowing Ben. Like, you know, a homeowner will give an objection, he'll start laughing, right? It's just a little bit different from, you know, all the other sales professionals that have came and knocked on these individuals' doors. But can you give me a little bit of an example of maybe a word track, or maybe why tonality and why the body language is so important, or maybe a way that you would talk to a homeowner? I know a lot of your transactions are self-generated, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, and a lot of them are done like the same day. You know, it's not like you're scheduling.
I love same days. That's my ideal transaction is same day.
Same day. Awesome. Yeah. So give me a little bit of example of tonality, body language, like why you feel like it's effective for you in the field of selling solar door to door.
Yeah. As far as like tonality, I talk like when I'm knocking their door, I'll use like maybe even a confused tone or some different tone that they've heard. A lot of people, when they get up there, they're talking like much quicker because they're trying to spew out information and before they close the door. I'm like, I talk pretty slow, or if they say like get to the point, like to be blunt and then get into it. But my tonality and like how I'm like I talk very very slow. I think one of the things is like I intentionally, like when I was first starting, it sounds ridiculous. I've hired like meditation and breathing coaches in the past, and like one of the things I taught is like how important like keeping your heart rate down lower is. So like when I first started, I was like intentionally trying to keep my heart rate lower to make sure I'm not like talking as fast. And when I'm like again sounding like someone else or not every other door knocker that's come to their door with that like slower pace or like a different tone than they've heard, then they'll give me the light of day because they're like, oh, this sounds different than what I've heard, and also I'm not coming in company gear. They don't even really know like what it is for until I'm like 30 seconds in. So it buys me a little bit more time coming in different gear.
Sounds like you're building a lot of curiosity.
Yeah.
But also like you're almost pulling their guard down. You know, I talked to the solar professional that did, I think he did 80, but they were all sets and he had less amount of installs as you. But he's like, he was his first month ever doing solar, and he's like, yeah, I just tell these people, I don't like these people knowing that I'm good at this. You know, they almost look at him like, hey, it's a rookie, and they just don't have much of a guard, you know, when, you know, your presentation happens. So let's talk about this. You joined Knockstar in January. You've been a part of the program. You are currently our top Knockstar in our coaching program that myself and Tom Hopkins run. And you've won our biggest competition of the year. You clean sweeped it. You've actually been a part of winning both competitions this year, as we had our team competition, which was really fun. You got to go to Tom's house. And this recent one, he won a cruise in a bracket style competition, which was double elimination. And you didn't even need one. Nobody could even beat him one round. He was just throwing down. So tell us a little bit about your journey this year, you know, the competitions that you've won. And then let's kind of go into that month where you were really turned it up.
So when I first joined Knockstar, I joined solar in August, but really like actually started working September. What I believe that retreat or whatever was January. Yeah. So September I really started working and like getting on doors. So right off the bat, I was able to like get appointments and I could grab a bunch of bills, but I guess like, you know, an ego thing. Oh, I wanted to close these things myself. Nothing closed. I've burnt like in that beginning, which I would say probably an ego thing is I got all these. I was getting in house all these times, and I lost out on, you know, probably 6 figures of money. But I think that sort of shaped me into where I was. So I'd say started in September. I could I could get in house a bunch, but nothing. I couldn't get it across the finish line. And then really like middle October, I sold. I finally like something clicked. I sold one deal in the day, which was I was having some people like come in house prior to some of the sits after I just couldn't move anything across the finish line. So I sold one, and then I went out and like knocked like 3 doors, set a same day, and then sold that second one. And then after that, like seeing those 2 transactions like back to back in that day, it sort of like flipped the switch. Oh, like this is what I need to do in house and to set up the sale properly to get that sale. And then it was, I could sell a bunch. Then so after that, I like turned it on October, November, started crushing, and then it was also my realization, right? Like, sure, I can sell all these deals, but what gets me paid? Installs. Yeah. So then, tried to learn like, hey, what can I do after, like, selling is really the absolute first part of the first thing. So it's then learning, okay, what is my follow-up look like after that sale? What needs to be done to like nurture these and actually have glass hit the roof? And so then I was, maybe 8 to 10 or so, and maybe like 10. I sort of forget, but November, December, and I started learning like what needs to be done after that first point of sale to get glass on the roof. I flew down I saw you were hosting some conference. I flew down by myself. I remember like you had people raise. I think I was like the only one there that their like company or whatever didn't, like most people had their company pay. Like I just bought it and hopped on a flight and came on down, listened to those talkers and joined those speakers, joined Knockstar. And really like that was because, when I was doing, let's say 8-10 clean deals or whatever, I thought that was like crushing it. Because it is like, that is a really absurd, like 10 clean deals a month is an absurd amount of money. Mm-hmm. Like getting those to install. So I thought I was like killing it. I was the best in my company at that time doing that. And then I joined and I see this kid, Justin, he popped off like 30 deals in the month of January. And I was like, oh my gosh, he 3x'd me. Like, that's nothing. So like, I didn't even, because I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is like 10, 12, like that's killing it. Then I saw him do that and I was like, I'm doing 33% of like actual top people. So joined and saw like what was actually top people across the country rather than my sector and company. And then, just learning, that was like a big mental shift. Me even seeing like what was possible and not to think, oh my gosh, like I'm doing so good, and seeing that
it's crazy. I mean, you think about this, right? Going from 8 to 10 transactions a month, to 55 transactions, he's going to push 300 transactions on the year. And, if you really think about that shift from going from 8 to 10, to the point where you were doing 20, and you got to the point where you were doing 30, and, you were competing in these competitions, and then we got into the bracket style competition, you were working your way through the final rounds, and, you put up 55 transactions in a month. You started off really strong that month, and you pushed through, and I know you were like, dude, I could have got 60, you know what I mean? And it's funny because at the end of the month, he's like, dude, next month I'm going to break it, right? So I wouldn't be surprised before the end of the year if he breaks that 55 transactions. Take me a little bit through that month of being able to produce 55 self-generated appointments, knocking doors with no leads, a little bit about your schedule and kind of like how your day-to-day looks.
Yeah. So before that month, I put in my head like, because it was summertime, like I was well, so in Jersey, it is like the nicest part of the year is the summer.
Yeah.
So I was beaching, like hitting the beach and stuff, and enjoying fruits of
life.
the labor. Yeah. And then I was like, all right, for August, like I'm putting my head down and grinding. Like this is, I'm gonna kick it up a notch and try and see what I can do. So first week of August, I think I did like, I think I closed like 17 or something, which was sick. So that was awesome. And yeah, so what it took. So also like being able to like have the have the energy to do that too, because a lot of the previously I was like being in 3 homes in a day. If you're doing that consistently, like not only including the knocking everything, like I'd be coming out absolutely exhausted. Like I couldn't maintain it. So I did have, so I hired a life coach, which put me on, it actually, he really did put me on like a good schedule. So I was waking up, it's like the stereotypical thing, probably, but it worked fantastic for me. Wake up, cold plunge, sauna, run, hit a little workout, then like some reading or meditation. And then from there, it'd be scrub my pipeline, see, because it's when I was putting all those deals through, like it's a lot of back end work. I don't have like an assistant or anything. Luckily, have awesome project coordinators which crush and help me out a ton. But like scrubbing and making sure, like if anything needs to be done, if I see a notification, I'm attacking it like immediately rather than, or if it needs to be done, if it's important, I'm attacking it immediately and not doing whatever else. Yeah. So attacking like most important thing. So wake up, scrub. If I get any notifications, instantly be reaching out to those homeowners and getting whatever needs to be done. Also, a huge part is having, like also before August, I was like, okay, because I'm trying to absolutely crush it this month. I like me driving to someone's house after they're sold is gonna take time away from being in the field and income producing activities. So like before August, I was like, okay, before I leave the house, I am making sure that absolutely everything is done. This is not going to be. So I when I'm doing that volume, I mean, if I'm in the area, sure, I'll stop by, but I really don't want to. I don't want to see you again until install.
Yeah. Hear you on that one.
Yeah, so I don't want to see you again until install. Like I'm in communication with them the whole time, but me, unless it's like my actual hood, like me stopping. I guess I move around all my hoods. Like I don't. It's probably it is against what most people say. I move different neighborhoods every single day, so I'm not just working one turf like nonstop. I just move around. I know certain companies put you place where we don't have like.
So you're just hunting.
Yeah,
you're hunting. And what time are you normally starting? Like, take me through your day when you get to the field. Like, what time do you start? What time do you sell until? Like, we're gonna talk about handling rejection, but like, what is that hours that you're spending in the field?
Yeah, so I like to get in the field by probably like 1 p.m. or so. Not super early. Yep. I like to get in the field like 12 or 1 p.m. Certain days I'll be out, or if I had a next day or something at 9, 10 a.m.
Of course.
Then I'm immediately after. Then I'm in the field. But if I don't have any appointments early in the morning, like I'm sort of like that's my me time or spending time with my girlfriend and like giving her the attention. So I'll spend like 9 to 12 either walking my dog with Nicole or just getting
So you're averaging in the 55 transactions in a month, self-generated, no leads. He's averaging about 2 sales per day.
Yeah, I worked, I think, 22 days in the month.
22. So you're pushing like a 2.2, 2.3 average.
Yeah.
How many people do you think you're talking to in a day?
So it's going to sound ridiculous. I am not having that. I just have, I really don't talk to that many people. It's really not like.
Are you knocking 200 doors a day?
Absolutely not. I am knocking, like, unfortunately, I know
Nothing
most
wrong with
people
that.
say
Yeah.
it's a numbers thing. I disagree. I think it's a.
We're on the same page there.
Yeah, I think it's a skill thing. I do not want to knock 200 doors.
Of course.
I spot knock super heavily if there's not if
You're
I don't
looking for
think
people home.
Yes, I'm looking
Good
for
homes
people
with
home
good roofs.
with good roofs. I will walk past 12 homes, and like also when like the homes that I'm picking, when I'm walking up to them, I'm like, because I think they're home, they're getting crushed in sun. Like, I want the ones that it's going to make what I was saying previously, because I'm picking these homes.
Yeah.
So every single home I'm selling, it makes sense for. So most of them, it makes sense for. If I can't fit a roof or something, that might be where the problem there. But it's gonna, a lot of the time, 90% of the time, it makes sense for them because I'm spot knocking.
So it sounds like it makes sense for you. That's why it makes sense for them.
I'm the professional.
Yeah. And you're not overcomplicating the process.
No.
He's self-generating all of his accounts, and most of those are done on the same day. So take me through this. You knock on somebody's door. Is it that you collect their utility bill and you're going back later in the day? You walking right into the house? Like, what's your normal transaction look like?
I am pretty probably controversial also because I don't have setters. I do not ask for a utility bill, and I could care less about a bill until I'm in the home. As
Yep.
soon as I get in home, that's what I ask for. But I think it's sort of like it complicates it a little bit. When I'm on the door, I'm trying to give myself the best possible chance of getting inside.
Yeah.
Because when I'm inside, it's done. So
I love that. I see so many sales professionals that are like, oh, I couldn't get the bill, where a lot of the time I was just like, hey, I don't need to know the heart attack bill, but just roughly what do you guys spend a month for the power?
Yep.
And then once you're able to get into the home, you're able to build that trust, build that rapport. Because a lot of the times somebody just doesn't want to hand over their bill unless they trust you, they respect you, and they understand the vision of the roadmap and the direction they're going.
Yeah, so I was just like hosting a blitz actually, and a ton of there was a decent amount of people that flew out for it, and they like the first 2-3 days, the like amount of volume, it was just non-existent. And then we were like, okay, like what's the biggest hurdle here? Also, it could be like area dependent, but they were all like that. Like when we're going for the bill, it's not.
Yeah.
They don't want to give it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so stop going for it. It does not matter. Because I wasn't the one closing their deals because I said I didn't want them, but I was like, the people closing them, like they do not care. We don't care about having the bill, get a rough estimate, we'll build something and then downsize or upsize in-house. But really, getting the bill for me, it means absolutely nothing. So I'm not getting the bill. Depending on the financer I'm using, I'll do it. I love same-day walk-ins. That was my it's my favorite thing. But certain financer I use, it does take a little bit for the proposal. Like 45 minutes sometimes. So then I don't want to walk in and then like waste like 30 minutes or so until I have that back when I could go get someone else and then stack them.
Of course.
So if I know I'm going to be using that financer for that home, I say like, gotcha. I'll swing back in like 45 minutes. I got to go do that. Yeah. So, but same day walk-ins are my favorite thing.
I love it. If you guys are just tuning in, what we've been talking about is, the tonality and the way that you speak. We're going into, not overcomplicating this process, right? I think the big thing after watching Ben in the field and getting to know him is he doesn't complicate it. It's not a complicated process. If you make it a big deal, they're going to make it a big deal. So like your normal time to set an appointment when you're knocking on the door, and then your normal time when you get into the house to close the transaction. What time is that looking at? Like the 5-10 minute to set it, 2 hours to close it. Like what is that time?
Oh no, like? So my process in house. Again, I keep it so simple. I'm selling a TPO product. So out of all those deals, one of them was an ownership alone. Yep. In my market, TPO just absolutely crushes, and that's what I feel like
it makes the most sense.
It makes the most sense.
Yep.
So that's like my belief is that the TPO product is the is the best one. So that's all I sell. It's a quicker sales process. I would say I'm leaving the home in like 45 minutes or so. So it's very. I like to keep everything absolutely under an hour. So there's people. I know some people, they'll sit in there for 2.5 hours or whatever. In my head, if I was the consumer, I would never want someone inside my house for 3 hours personally. So I just don't that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that they don't want me there for that long. They want to, I'm selling the destination. They want what they're going to end up with, and then, trust me. Yeah.
Sounds like we got a professional trick-or-treater here. And I want to ask you a question because sales professionals are the only people that face rejection every single day. This book right here, Green Eggs and Ham, right? He deals with a lot of no. How are you able to handle rejection? And what do you do, when people tell you they're not interested?
Yeah, gotcha. And I'm sure you get a ton of people swinging by here. How long have you lived in the home?
We've lived here for 5 years.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm sure you've just seen that recent utility rate increase from Atlantic City Electric. Do you know roughly how much a month you're paying?
My wife handles it, but it's maybe like a couple $100.
Okay. And is that heart attack summer bill or one of the an average?
Probably about an average.
Okay. So similar to Nancy down the road, you are actually a little bit higher than her. What we were able to do from her is take her from that 300 that's constantly going up. We got her down to a lower 190 or something. Really the main thing and why a lot of people weren't interested in the past. Did you ever see one of the proposals or anything?
No, we haven't seen it.
Gotcha.
We looked into it 5 years ago, I think.
Yeah, so previously it really wouldn't have made any sense. A lot of people were getting asked to take out $60,000, $70,000 loans. Again, you said you're paying $250 average.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there.
Right. So that would never make sense for you to take out a $70,000, $80,000 loan. Then, previously also you had to take money out of your pocket. Again, really is not going to make a whole lot of sense. All we do, we just put together a quick proposal and show you what it even, look like. Again, I'm not sure if your home would even make sense for if you guys would be eligible. I am super, super busy here. And did you get your bill paper copy or electronic?
We get it in the mail.
Okay. So I do have to swing by to Kevin. You guys gonna be home here in the next 45 minutes or so?
Yeah, we should be here.
Okay, gotcha. And then what's your number?
Area code 941.
Okay.
367 4545.
Okay, gotcha. And so I'll put together that report again. If it's even going to make sense for you, if it's not going to make sense, I'll shoot you a text. I'm not going to waste your time or mine. If it makes sense, again, I'm just going to show you. I basically just break down, hey, this is where the panels would go. Hey, this is what you were paying. This is, what you could be saving. 15, 20 minutes or so. Alrighty, I'll see you in 45. It's super short, simple, and just...
Yeah, so what's crazy about that, right? And if you really understand sales, the tonality, the body language, he's doing everything for a reason. And the greatest enemy is the client's fear, right? And there's anxiety when somebody knocks on your door. Oh, we got a door-to-door salesperson. But it's very clear how Ben can allow that family to relax, which kind of goes into my next question. Curious George right here. It's pretty obvious how you can create that curiosity and that indifference. But why do you think creating curiosity is very important when you're knocking on somebody's door?
Because they don't. I mean, you're showing up at their house. They weren't. If they were planning to go solar, right? They probably would have looked it up online. I'm sure you guys have heard that objection on the door. But you need to build, like, show them, give them an idea of like why they would even want to ever do this. Like, why would they take the time out of their day to? They've probably had, door-to-door people come to them in the past and have been in their home that have annoyed them. So what makes you, like, why would they even give you the time of the day to come and annoy them?
Yeah. Tell me about your best sales day. The best day, how many, you typically, like 95% of your transactions are all self-generated. Yeah. You have 0 leads. He's getting these all by knocking on doors. Can you remember how many
I think 6 was my best day.
6 self-gens in a day. That's what we call Operation Go-Go Gadget Bank Account. Can you remember anything specific about that day, your mentality?
Well, so I
6 self-gens.
I had like an 8 a.m. and a 10 a.m. From the day previous, and I locked both them down, and I felt I was so fired up after that, and just felt my energy was on point. I felt fantastic, and was like, all right, today I'm just rocking out. Got into the field after, and just started cranking. I think the last one, they were all like I was like most infectious after you sell something.
You're
like
contagious.
Everybody I was talking, like, they needed it. Like like they all just needed it. And I think the last one I closed out at like 9 p.m. or so. But I've had like some 12 a.m. closes or something in the past. That was for a rep I closed for free too.
It's just crazy to think about, because I know there's thousands of individuals in the solar industry, and a lot of people that get into solar say, hey, I want to earn $100,000 a year. I want to earn 6 figures in a year. But this individual is pacing almost $2 million in 1 year, his first full year of doing solar. And I think about it like this. The person that goes out and makes $100,000 a year would have to do that for 20 years, or Ben could go to a beach in a foreign country for 20 years and come back and be like, all right, fine, we're tied now. But he's a master of his craft, and he's continual learner. Always on the weekly coaching calls, on the online university, constantly trying to get better, coming to events. I think a lot of individuals get to a certain level and they're like, oh, I'm good. I'm making $200,000-300 grand. I'm one of the top person in my company. But just that decision that you made to be great. And, I salute you for that, because, selling isn't easy. We're the only creatures that face rejection every single day. But when you get really good at this, you're never going to work another day in your life. It's like playing a game. And, you have a lot of fun with what you do. It doesn't seem like it's too stressful. And, he's helping families. He's got that demeanor. He's got the tonality. And he's got the body language. And, I know that this specific slick right here is one that you use in almost every one of your transactions.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that slick, and maybe we can go into some of the word track on, how you utilize that when you're in the home.
Yeah. No, I use this thing in literally every single one of my closes. I absolutely love this slick. I use this in every one.
All right, so take me through it. If I was the homeowner, I'm in your house, how would you explain this to me?
Yeah. So really, like, the reasons. Like, after discovery and stuff, this is like one of the first things I bring out after, because I'm asking them a lot of the times they don't really want a loan, but even if they do, I use this thing and try and swing them towards a TPO product. If they don't want it, then I'll switch over. But typically, I mean, they always. This makes the most sense, I think. So Yeah, so really like the reasons why you would never go solar, right? Um, your average was like 350, right?
I think it was something around that.
Yeah. So, right, if I was coming here saying, hey, you got to take a loan out and go $90,000 into debt, you'd probably tell me to leave, right? Probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Again, if there was any sort of loan involved with this, then there's interest, penalties, fees. Is like, how do you feel like solar was going to help you the most? Was it the savings, price protection?
Yeah, probably saving a little bit because our bills were never this high like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, again, that is with that recent 18.8% rate increase. But right, so if the main thing's the savings for you, and again, that's what, most people aren't just putting them up there because they like them, because they like the way they look. A lot of it does come down to the savings. Again, if you were taking out that loan with current interest, right, this isn't COVID times anymore. You're not getting 1.9% interest rates. It really, if you're trying to save money, going into debt and taking out that loan really makes no sense. And then really like the last reason why you would never do this, again, if there was just a manufacturer warranty and not full coverage, again, so what I'd be proposing today, it's 25-year nuts to bolts warranty. All acts of God are covered. Hurricanes, tornadoes, you have no liability. It's essentially, hey, you were donating this, now you're, at this price protected amount. Yeah, that's how I use that slick.
So I love that, and some fire right there. If you really notice, Ben's tonality and the voice inflection, and even the small little things like the laughing in between the statements. People react to the range, the pace, the volume, and the diction, even when they don't understand the words. And his pacing and his diction almost makes the homeowner want to and try to even listen more to you, just in the way that you speak and your indifference.
Yeah. Also, I think so. People buy from people they trust.
Yeah.
So people buy from people they trust, and I think because previously, let's say if they've been in a car dealership or something, they've experienced the more aggressive, more aggressive type close, and some people have been not in the best situation from that. So with that, my closing process, it's super straight line, and I try and make them feel like they're making this decision, and it's just an absolute no brainer. But it's more so I just try and lead them through, and they're. I think it builds trust just on how me using that tonality and certain things I'm doing inside the home.
Bro, crushing. 300 transactions on the way this year. I want to go into a few of these questions because we got a few questions. So we're going to go into some rapid fire questions with Ben. What do you say when they bring up, I don't want it on my roof because of leaks?
Yeah, gotcha. And do you know about how old your roof is?
It's maybe 5 years old.
Okay. Yeah, so that's sort of one of the main things, and it's sort of exactly what we would even cover once we essentially, again, we don't even know if it makes sense for your home, but nowadays there really is those warranties and stuff. And how much are you paying a month or something? Then I just ask a question after that, and I say, so that's sort of exactly what we're going to be going over, because I'm trying to give myself the best possible chance of getting inside, because when you're inside the home, it's way easier to overcome an objection like that rather than on the doorstep. So I'll either say that's what the warranties would cover something, or and then say, but that's exactly what we're going to be going over. Again, we don't even know if it's going to make sense for your home.
Boom. All right. New sales reps, prioritize volume of sets or quality of a sets?
I would say quality, because otherwise your closer is going to get annoyed and not even want to be going to your closes. So I would say quality of sets, personally.
Money. Next question. How often should you talk to your customer throughout the process?
Minimum one time a week. Minimum one time a week on Fridays or something. And then also if I get an update, let's say interconnection was approved or something, then I'm two-touching it. I send them, as soon as I get that notification, I send them a text. Oh my gosh, great news. Interconnection was approved. Now we're just waiting on permits or state approvals. And then still on that Friday, I'm going to give another follow-up. Hey, we're still just waiting on
Usually
those.
through phone call or through text?
I text them. I'm sure phone call would probably be better. I don't feel like calling on.
Got to
these
be
people.
quick. All right. How do you create same days, and how to create the deals that actually stick?
So create same days. I make it seem like that is completely normal. Like that's exactly how this process goes. That's what people are. This is how it happens. It's the same day. Like so if it's the walk-in, show them like their design or something. Again, a financer I was using, the one I primarily was using, there was a slight delay, so I was swinging back. But I like the walk-in same days more. But I look at also, so eye contact's big for me. I'm not making eye contact on the door a lot, which is completely very different. But so when I'm going for the appointment, I'll pull up my calendar and now I'm looking down at it. Whew, gotcha. So I'm pretty slammed, under my breath, pretty slammed. I do have to go help Michael down the street here. Will you be here in 45 minutes or so? So I look up at them at that point, and then I look back down because I think it's easier for them. When I'm not looking at them, it's easier for them to say give me a yes. Yeah. So I'm looking at my phone. So I look up at them at eye contact. Yeah. Will you be here in 45? Or will you be home in 45 minutes? I look back down at my phone and start scrolling. And it's a yes, we'll be here. Gotcha. And I keep looking down. What's your number? And then my set, they all they're sitting because so probably if that's a next day or something my style, it might not be as sticky as a set because they're quicker, they're giving less information. But with the same days, they're always there, and this was 45 minutes ago. They're letting me inside. Yeah. So it's me. I would say looking down, making myself seem busy, and this is a normal. I'm shooting for the same day first every single time.
Love it.
Yeah.
Dude, dropping some sauce right now. All right. So what is your favorite one-liner when someone says they aren't signing anything?
Oh, what? In the beginning or at the end of the closing process?
Let's say at the end of the closing process, where hey, I appreciate all the information, Ben, but I just don't think we're ready to sign anything today.
Yeah. So I want to get out of all those closes, I hate two touches against us. So I'm asking their profession once I'm in there, and in my discovery, it could be something bad that I'm doing, but I know immediately, really off their profession and how the first thing's going. I know if they're
ready to make a move.
If they're ready to make a move.
Yeah.
So at the end of the close, if I hear, yeah, gotcha, and right. So unfortunately, I don't have these panels in my car or anything. Again, so in my utility, we have a restriction map, and so I'm pulling up the restriction map, and it's sort of. Seriously, I have customers that do not get approved regularly. One of the towns I work a lot just all got blacked out, meaning no one can go solar. So I pull that up. I really don't want to. I do not want to come back. I need doc signed today, or else I'd rather a little bit softer of a sale and getting doc signed that first touch, and then smoothing it over rather than setting up a follow date. But depending on their profession and their type of buyer, I'm not even gonna shoot for it. It's really case by case, but typically, so yeah, gotcha. So Again, unfortunately, I don't have like panels in my car, and you don't get solar today. Again, we don't even know if you're going to be getting approved by this. So then I pull up the map, I zoom in, essentially showing like where all the people like where a blackout zone is and how they all can't get solar. Yeah. So unfortunately, I just had, if it was a recent blackout, I probably have a customer there that got denied. So unfortunately, similar to like X, they they were waiting to go solar for a few years. I was finally the one that came up and helped them do this. Similar situation. They waited a few weeks. We submitted their application and they got denied. So again, we really do need to make sure the home's going to be a good fit. And that means getting the site survey tech out here and everything. So really like at that, after site survey, we get final engineering back. I give you a call, and like really at that point, that's when I'm really going to need your thumbs up. Hey, let's do this. I'm proceeding. Let's submit permits and everything, because at that point, again, our company's putting out money, interconnection permits. So you really do have like those 2 weeks. Think it all over, talk with your family, and know, hey, yes, like I still want to be saving this money. But really at that point, like in 2 weeks, that's when we're really going to need thumbs up. Hey, let's do this.
So 3 things that you need to make a sale: the tonality, which you can hear in his voice; the conviction, he believes he's genuinely helping people; and the third thing is that urgency aspect, right?
Yeah.
Utilizing the grid, utilizing these takeaways, why people may not be eligible for the program. And one of the things that I love that Ben says on the door, and he does it with his specific tone, but now if you were eligible for this program, and then going into it, not just, hey, this is what you get, but if you were eligible, if you did qualify, if we were able to kind of like check off all the boxes, then that's what you would benefit from, which I love how you do. All right, so let's keep going through this. I guess one of the big questions is, we've talked about your schedule. We know he drinks yerba mate on the doors. That's a secret. I wasn't supposed to tell you guys, but
I mainly fast. So, well, it's not a true fast because those yerbas I drink have some sugar in it and calories. But yeah, I fast as far as food goes, and then I'm eating when I'm out of the field.
So what sort of tools or education would you recommend that you've done, or what's some advice that you would tell to a brand new sales rep? Maybe somebody that's watching this right now that just got into door-to-door sales, that got into solar, and they're looking at it like, dude, this kid's going to make $2 million this year. Like, how do I do that?
Yeah, so what I absolutely, I binged all your content like that. I absolutely like immersed myself and watched all, like, I was falling asleep to those YouTube videos. Like, that is literally what I was spending hours on, is watching all those videos. Yours, Carlos from Real Sales Dynamic, Jeremy Minor, those were like, but mainly like when I first got in, I absolutely binged like all your content on YouTube and Instagram. That was probably the biggest thing. Then also I had a friend out in, one of my friends, mentored me, gave me like a ton of, he absolutely crushes it, and I like had a few calls with him, and he just like that helped me a ton. And then actually practicing what I was seeing, like I used to practice and out loud, not like just in your head. Like I would practice my door pitch, tonality, body language, like every single day. Like
he said the P word. He owes 10 push-ups.
Yeah.
But we'll give him a pass on
presentation.
That. We'll give him a pass on that. But dude, absolutely crushing, dude. Like, super proud to see, not only for you to come into the Knockstar program, setting himself up to be the Knockstar of the Year, which is an award that we give out every single year to our top individual, that really goes above and beyond and, produces, because you guys are either going to be the example for your organization or you're going to be the warning. And when you can surround yourself around these type of individuals and, kind of the group that we have within Knockstar, like Ben said, he came into the program doing 8 to 10 a month, and now he's, 40, 50. And I know that competition schedule that we've had, really pushed you, and you were able to go to Tom Hopkins' house, compete on a team.
Yeah, that was
You
sick.
were I think he was the 6th overall draft pick in our first competition. Then he just came out and smoked everybody. So I know that if we do another draft, he'd either be a captain or the first overall pick. But dude, absolutely crushing it. Ben, if people want to get a hold of you, are they able to do that, or are you in the field?
I need to make a solar Instagram here shortly.
We're gonna put it in the comments.
I'll throw it in the comments, but I probably I've gotten some if you're not my rep, I just don't unfortunately I just don't have the time to answer you. So you can message me, but
that's unbelievable. Unbelievable what you're doing this year. I love to see all of your success, and you just got to keep your foot on the pedal. The advice that I give for you, Ben, is if everything is under control, you're not moving fast enough, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So he's going to do 2 million, then he's going to do 4 million, then he's going to do 8 million, then when he's up to 100 million a year, he's going to invite me on his yacht one day. That's the deal that we got. So thank you guys for tuning in. We jammed out a lot of things. And if you think you can beat this kid, come up and join Knockstar. It's going to take 300 plus transactions, and the kid self-gens them. So super proud of you, brother.
Yes, sir.
See you guys on the next episode.